to say this about Edwin Sifuna, but because you've asked me, I think I will say it. For your information, Sifuna and I were circumcised in the same way. He is my age mate whom we share a lot of things in common. And in our culture, I am not, if I fight with Sifuna, then a goat must be slaughtered, because we are commonly known as Bakoki. We all belong to an age set called Basawa. People were circumcised between the years of 1996 and 1998. So we have such a strong bond. Yeah? If I will circumcise my boy, I have to give Sifuna a cow. You know, if Sifuna's son comes to my compound here during that rite of passage, I have to give them a goat. And I never wanted to say this, but I'm going to say this. The discussion of forming a broad-based government began many months behind the date that it was announced. There was an agreement that ODM will forward experts to join government. And there were many names of the potential cabinet ministers that were to be considered. And Edwin Sifuna's name was there. As the Secretary General of the party, his name was there. Then somehow, his name was removed because his leaders preferred Wycliffe Oparanya, and they felt like they should not have two names from the Mulembe nation as experts. So that is how Edwin Sifuna's name was removed. Of course, there were many discussions and many lobbying. I happen to have been among the people that Sifuna approached just to ensure that we push his name through so that he can be appointed cabinet minister. But of course, there are very many of other dynamics that are favored Ampesa Oparanya, including an attempt by some people whom we believed were sponsored by Edwin Sifuna to attempt to go to court and argue that Ampesa Oparanya have an active case with EACC and is therefore not fit to be appointed as whatever. But Papa strongly believed that he's either Wycliffe Oparanya or no another person from our region. And that is how Sifuna's name was dropped from that list. And I think that made Sifuna was a bit very bitter. He did not support the whole arrangements, even when he was reading the MOU, knowing that his name was had been removed. He was reading the MOU like he was forced, like as if somebody had put a gun on his head, and that is understood. So whatever Edwin Sifuna says against the broad-based government everywhere, Kenyans should not take it within the seriousness that it deserves, because they should just take it like a jilted lover, like an interested party. And I think from where I sit, Edwin Sifuna is conflicted in talking against a broad-based government, because he was an interested party. He's just throwing the vitriol because he was never a beneficiary. But I want to tell you, if his name was among those that were picked for cabinet positions, Sifuna could be a defender of this broad-based government until Jesus comes. So I think the government, the Kenyan people should not read too much in what comes out of Edwin Sifuna, because I have told the country for the first time that Sifuna is a bitter man, because his name was removed, and he thought that being the Secretary General of ODM, then he ought to have been the first to be considered an expert for the country. So he has decided now that my expertise were never wanted in the formation of this government, now he's appearing on TV and all other forums to share his expertise, his wisdom with the rest of the country.
In regards to that, what do you think about Honorable Babu?
You know, let me tell you, Babu, you know, is a very strong governor candidate for now.
Most people over 40 use ChatGPT like it's Google. Copy, paste, ask a basic question.
Babu, you know, and myself, because of being the people's project, where we have reached, we can win the seats that we are looking for on whatever party, or even without any party. He terrorized the person you've kept mentioning from Nairobi until the guy saw stars. He decided to disappear. And we can only say that the guy living Nairobi to Bungoma is akin to the proverbial statement that coming out of the frying pan to the fire. It's still the same, still one and the same. So Babu, we know, is if there is a candidate that will give Sakaja sleepless nights, is Babu. That one is a fact. And I think Babu Wino and myself, we have some commonalities. Both our opponents, I'm told, are doing opinion polls after every 2 months. And consistently for the last 2 years, I think we've been very ahead. That's why they usually abandon projects, this one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. And the difference between Babu Wino and myself is that Babu Wino is a very small difference. Yeah. Babu Wino has 2 university degrees. I have 2 university degrees. He has 2 master's degrees. I have 2 master's degrees. I am also a PhD finalist. By December, I will have completed my PhD in public administration.
Congratulations.
And I think we are one of the most educated leaders in our country. And we have the courage to navigate along the political murky waters. This is our time. We are youthful. We have the intelligence of an old man, and we have the charisma of that leader that is required, that our country needs to take our country forward. And I think looking at the things that are happening in our country, all those leaders who were in Kano, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. All those leaders who came from Kano, who germinated during Kano regime, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. So when William Samoei Ruto completes his term of 10 years by 2032, all those people who are in Kano, can name them, all of them, they should all retire and go home, so that we can usher in a crop of leaders who germinated during Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta. And so that we can try to now give our country a new dimension of our political leadership. So all those who were in Kanu, Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga, all of them, once William Ruto completes his 10-year term in 2032, they should all not bother us. They should just all pack and leave.
Yes. Because the president supported you so much, even during your campaigns as Bungoma governor. The president used to support you a lot. What do you think it's his take on regards to now what the Bungoma leaders are doing? Most of them have abandoned you. What do you think is the president's take?
I think there is no leader in Bungoma who has abandoned me. The English definition of the word abandon, it means somebody who was supporting you and they temporarily halve their support for you. For your information, those leaders whom you are saying they have abandoned me, they never supported me. If you go and check the records, yeah. Of course, some will say that I've never reached out to them, but I have my own campaign strategy. What I am doing now is popularizing myself. You know, taking myself to the people so that people can see me, people can know me, can know my behavior, can begin to scrutinize me, can begin to evaluate my capabilities. Then later on, after I have now developed or come up with a clear blueprint on what I will do for the people of Bungoma, I can now look around and say, whom among these people can assist me in marketing the idea that I have across the country, across the county of Bungoma? Then I can now begin to look for potential allies. I can now begin to look for example, we have now the teachers, we have KUPPET and the KNUT. If I tell the KNUT and KUPPET to support me as their governor candidate, based on what? Based on what? But sometime next year, when it will be ripe for the candidates to spell out their manifesto, that is when we will approach the organized professional groupings, the KNUT, the teachers, the business community, to tell them that we are the best bet for Governor of Bungoma because this is what we are going to do for them. But now, my manifestos are in the kitchen. They are being cooked. I go to the kitchen where the manifestos are being cooked every week to test, and I can tell the people of Bungoma from the look of things, the salt is sufficient, yeah, the soup is very nice. I am confident that my manifesto sometime next year, when we will launch them, there will be a killer punch. My manifesto will drive the last nail on political coffin of my political opponents.
I asked you a question to remind you about George Natembeya.
Very good question. you cannot compare all the current crop of leaders with the Masinde Muliro, because the syllabus is completely different. The current leaders, including the one you've mentioned, like myself, like very many leaders of today, we somehow now we have a say in terms of what development the government should initiate in our county. The governors who are here, they have been given a blank check and the resources to run their counties with the autonomy that comes from our constitution. Masinde Muliro was fighting for political space. There was no devolution at that time. You get the point? There was no devolution at that time. There were no bursaries that he was giving. There were no schools he was building at that time. You know, he was an opposition figure. His role was to fight for repeal of Section 2A so that we can have multi-party democracy. And because the syllabus was different from the syllabus of the current leaders, you cannot compare the two. You can't. It's like if you want to compare between Paul Terregat and Musa Otieno, who plays football, or Congestina Acheng, the boxer. You can't compare the three because their lines are completely different, right? And for your information, the people who have always been campaigning on the flip side of Masinde Muliro, Wamalwa Kijana, I don't know, this and that, that slogan, it doesn't hold water nowadays. Because those who are for leaders, they played their role, they exited the political stage, and we have a whole generation who doesn't know them. For your information, I am 40 years of age. I've only seen Masinde Muliro in the pictures. I never saw him.
My English not so good.
Do you mean my English isn't very good?
Yes, I am sorry.
How often do you practice speaking?
I have anyone to practice with.
Do you mean I have nobody to practice with?
Oh, yes, how can I learn English?
If you have nobody to practice with, you need an AI tutor like me, and it will teach you English in no time.
Oh, well, but how to get this?
Try makes you fluent.
At least I saw Wamalwa Kijana when he was vice president. By then I was first year at the university. And I believe I have, as my sister was born in 1994. She's married with about, she was born in 1991. She's married with about 3 children. Her firstborn son is in grade 8. She doesn't know Wamalwa Kijana because from 1991 to date, she's more than 30 years. Yeah, so we can't really compare our current leaders with those ones of our forefathers because they both operated within a completely different political space. Yeah. But all these political players are to the benefit of our region. We are not equal. We have some who are erratic. We have some who are calm. Yeah, we have some who are by their own nature they are a bit diplomatic. They bombard issues with decorum. We have others who do things without a formula, who say what they want to say. That is not a weakness.